totally the first take. Totally the first take. Which little circle am I looking into? Let's go with the center one. Oh, God. Hey everyone, Kazi here from Gung-Ho Geeks with a special announcement, and a special type of announcement, I guess, something that I've never really done before. For those of you that have been following the page or the blog or the old website before we switched to WordPress for a while, you know that we take our shit posting very seriously here. We love comedy in all its forms. We are equal opportunity offenders, and we're not ashamed by that. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because we've been I guess retrying our hand at the podcast side of things for a while now. And the book that kickstarted the project back up was Lynn Carter's Thongor, or rather the first 3 books of the series. And the why behind those books, restarting the podcast, is we thought them hilarious in the bad way. We thought that they were in many ways so poorly written that it deserved people to talk shit about them. And we like talking shit. Again, comedy is something that unites us here, and we try to make our lives pretty by laughing at stuff. Pretty much anything we come across. And, one day I came across Thongor, and then we did 3 podcasts detailing the first 3 books. Recently, Cam and I read the the February 2025 edition of Savage Realms Monthly. It was our 3rd in a series of podcasts on Savage Realms Monthly. And at the end of the February 2025 issue was a short Thongor story, but this time it wasn't written by Lynn Carter, but rather by Robert M. Price. And the main difference between those 2 gentlemen is that one of them is still very much alive, and it's not Lynn Carter. So the reason that I put this little video together is to say that there will be mean things said here in the following, 40 odd minutes. A lot of them, skirting with the pedantic, and many things that we probably wouldn't have brought up if this were any other IP or any other story or any other character. It's just Thongor. It makes something unwell live inside of us, so we just want to tear it down. But hopefully, have fun doing it, which we did and we still do. The main aspect that I want everyone to bear in mind here, and Mr. Price as well, if ever he comes across this random video put up by random people on the internet, is something Cam actually said to me after we finished recording, which is that it's not an issue of Robert M. Price not being able to write. It's the fact that Thongor just can't be written. So with that in mind, I hope you'll enjoy this little 40+ minute rant that we're about to go on here. And if there are any Thongor fans that are watching this, why? How are people so in love with this particular character? We dearly love to know, because we haven't really engaged with, I guess, the other side of the argument. I'd like to hear your side of the story and why you enjoy these so much. Till such time, we definitely enjoy talking shit about them. Solely about Thongor. Totally not Robert M. Price. We literally know nothing else about Mr. Price other than the fact that he's the executor of the estate of Lynn Carter. So, not only are we mean, but we're also ignorant. And that will probably show. Thanks for watching, and have as nice a day as you deserve.
Okay, so, I just cracked my knuckles. The final short story in SRM Feb 25
It has
is,
a normal title.
yes, Living Mummies, by someone who we've mentioned before, on the podcast, which is Robert M. Price.
Right.
And the reason why this story is important to us and to the universe is that it's a fucking Thongor tale.
And when I first saw the name, I was like, "Oh, that's that guy that does Thongor pastiches." And then I just started reading the thing, and I was like, blah blah blah. All right, cool, whatever. Then we got to it's like a little Canto 67 of the Oracles of Eadrim. I don't know. And I was like, okay,
Eodrim.
cool. Yeah, we've got some
Mhm.
sort of nonsense knockoff stuff, like the Lemurian Chronicles and Thongor, or in like the Midian Chronicles and Conan. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then you get halfway through the first sentence of the actual story, and it says, "The Great Golden Moon of Lemuria as Thongor of Valkarth," and I went, "Oh my god!"
I think you
No.
wrote to me, "There's a Thongor story in this one." And also, I'd like to the next to last word on the first row is an adverb. So
Yes,
it's evening.
starkly highlighting.
And before that, there's also rapidly. So there's two adverbs in the first line of this pastiche. Evening was rapidly
Yes.
descending, its purple veil starkly highlighting the great golden moon, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is
Yes.
going
And my
back to fucking...
first notes on this story were Thongor pastiche, exclamation point, and then in all capital letters, fuck, exclamation point.
Oh man, so this was a ride. This was quite a ride, the story. So it's about Thongor, who naturally the Thongor pastiche is about Thongor. Who'd have thunk? He's just back from a hunting trip, which is the stuff he uses now to keep himself
Trained.
keep himself trained and his skills honed, I guess.
Because he's the king now, excuse me, he's a what's the bullshit word? The Sark.
Sark
now.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got we got a bone to pick with Thongor and forever will. So
One thing I did notice, they refer to Sumia as being copper skinned. I thought she was pale skinned.
Maybe she got a tan.
Yeah, okay, fair, sure, why not?
They got a tanning salon in Puntanga after Thongor
they
took
use
it over.
those. They use some Urlium and some
Urlium mirrors to direct the sunlight.
Yeah, sure.
She's got these round, pale shapes around her eyes for using like tiny little nuts so that her eyes don't fry in the tanning salon.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's canon.
Yeah, there we go.
Everything's canon.
So he's telling his wife about his exploits, pretty much flexing on killing animals as you do.
Yeah.
And Sumiya's a bit anxious about him going out, but understands his need to do so. They start talking, and she's like, "Oh, the only thing that happened while you were away was somebody made a petition for a sect to put up a shrine, and it didn't seem like much of a thing to me. So, because you're so religiously tolerant, fucking Thongor, the religiously tolerant dude of all sword and sorcery heroes, it's fine."
The religiously tolerant barbarian from the somehow frozen northlands of an area south of the equator.
Yes. It seemed to me a harmless endeavor in light of your degree of religious tolerance, to which Thongor replies, "Yes, for every man must enjoy the freedom to worship his preferred gods. I draw the line only where cults of human sacrifice are concerned." Good God. Yeah.
It turns out that the idea of American democracy came from Thongor of Lemuria.
Your freedoms end at virgins being sacrificed.
You can worship whatever god you want in our city.
Yeah. There's a line, then I have a note here that says, "As Sumiya's eyes seem to search an invisible archive of memory," and my note is just buffering.
I have here cringe dialogue, really keeping the, in quotes, tone of the originals.
Yeah, these people do not talk like they're married.
No,
Like
they don't talk like humans.
They don't talk like, well, beyond that, but let's put that to the side because nobody talks like humans in Thongor. But she is Sumia, the princess, and he is Thongor, the king, Sarkoja, whatever they are.
She's the Sarkoja. He's the Sark.
Yeah, she's the Sarkoja. He's the Sark. My bad. But they're never outside of these roles, right? You don't get a sense of familiarity until later on, where there's a dick joke of all things.
Yeah, I was not expecting that in a Thongor story.
Yeah. Also, that Thongor's big ass sword is named Kingmaker, and we learn that Sumia wears no powder or paints.
No makeup.
Yeah. There's a thing about a prophecy that Sumia says.
It deals with like the people of this this cult. They worship the god Fathaga,
Which
Fathahuga. I don't know.
yes, which makes me wonder what the name of Robert M. Price's cat is.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, yes.
Or
maybe
he has a fish.
Maybe, yeah. It's a Fathagwa might be the language of the fishes.
You know, in the great sea of oh shit, what's the sea called in Thongor?
Fuck. Wait. I know this. Give me a second. Yashing Jabchun. Or something of the effect. The Southern Sea, the sea to the south.
From here on until the end of the last fucking book,
okay,
every time this geographical feature is mentioned, it is Yashing Zebchun, the Southern Sea. Every time, the full name. We're going over Yashing Zebchun, the Southern Sea. Every fucking time.
And I still didn't remember the name of it.
It also sounds like somebody being insulted at a Spanish speaking person being insulted at what they would like to drink, because they're like agua.
Oh,
bit of a reach.
Fuck.
That's my note. My note. PBHHT, comma agua. So an outlandish.
We're gonna call this the water god.
The water god. There we go. All right. Yeah. It's funny because I believe the petitioners called their god Thagwa, an outlandish coinage to be sure. Nor am I stuttering. And then she goes, it did not sound particularly nefarious. And I'm like, bitch, it's called Thagwa. What the shit? It's the most evil sounding thing we've had for the 3 pages that we've been reading this. Like, of all the names that were dropped, this is the evilest sounding. So I gave them permission and had the scribes prepare a certificate to that effect.
Yeah, and Thongor is like, just as our party was below the mountains of Malmer, I believe for a moment I had seen erratic motion in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So he just also happened to notice this blue starfire.
And it winked out and whatever. And Sumi also says she had a visitor, a scribe, one of their scribes, who had a vision of an of an unseen visitor, a figure swathed in impenetrable shadow. His name was Hanos Han.
Not to be confused with Kantos Khan.
Yeah.
Or Tars Tarkus from
Tars Tarkus. Yeah. Or Karm Karvas.
Yes, or Karm Karvas from these stories. Yes.
I swear to God, I'm gonna make up a stupid ass name that goes with these for my thing that I'm writing that I sent you.
Oh, you should.
I'm just gonna come up with some bullshit name. Alliteration for the win.
You know what we should do? We have like the Thalaba the Destroyer award for like good antagonists, like minor
Mhm.
antagonists or whatever. We need to come up with a award for like the Thongor alliterative ally award.
That's a good one. That is a good one. The Allies of Alliteration.
Yes, the
Oh
Allies
man,
of Alliteration award. Yeah.
love it, love it. The AAA, Thongor's AAA award. Anyway, the scribe saw something, and they decide, or Thongor decides. Well, they both decide that there's a case to be made to hearing him out, for Thongor to also hear him out, and they go to bed. They're completely naked. I think that was mentioned before.
Yeah.
You know, it's warm in Puntanga at this time of year. Um, Thongor gets a vision as well during the night. And he's referred to as the Sark of Sarks. Oh, Mahathangoya, Sark of Sarks.
Yes.
And the apparition says that he's the living shade of Zardust. And my note is a wrestling joke, so I won't go too much into it, but this guy is forever known as Stardust to me, who is, I don't know if you know Stardust, Goldust.
No.
It's my talents are wasted here.
I'm sorry. I know nothing about wrestling.
It's fine. It's fine.
When I heard like his name Zardust, I was like, "Oh, Stardust. Okay." Like in Rogue One, the Death Star.
Oh, it's the the code thingy.
Yeah.
So Thongor is like, your name sounds familiar. Are you not named for some ancient prophet or wizard? And the guy's like, no, men with that name are named for me, though they know it not. For some reason, this line just, no, motherfucker, they're named after me. What are you talking about? I'm the apparition. What the fuck does does the apparition bring to him?
It says that there is like forgotten knowledge, and you have to return it to the void of oblivion. Others will tell you more. The 19 gods will help you. But like he has to like talk to that
The scribe, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
HH.
Yeah. HH. Oh no, not HH. We don't do that here. Don't ask him his favorite numbers. But yeah, so they call Hannes Han. Sumiya sees that Thongor is covered in sweat and realizes that something dangerous is afoot.
Oh, but we get the dick joke here.
We do. Because Thongor tells Sumiya to tell one of the guards to wake Hannes Han up and tell him to get dressed. And meanwhile, I shall do the same. Because, you know, it won't do for a Sark. Yeah, it's not appropriate for a Sark to parade around stark naked. And Sumiya, blushing for some fucking reason, blushing, I mean. She goes, no, my husband, they would only think you have belted Sarkozan, which is the sword, between your thighs.
Sumiya!
Sumiya! And then they had the kid. That's when that happened. But yeah.
Like,
I don't know what I'm more offended by. The gratuitous dick joke or Sumiya blushing.
He just needed to describe what she was doing in extra detail.
Sure.
Just to piss off Stephen King.
So then we get Flame Wars. I also would like to note that all of the sections of this story are numbered 1. I don't know if you noticed.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's 1. The first one was 1. We have seen the star. Then the next one is 1. Flame Wars. And it keeps going. Yes. 1 down into the past. Guess what? 1 among old enemies. Yeah, it's a thing.
God.
Maybe it's a stylistic choice. Maybe we're not getting it. Maybe it's
Oh,
that
oh
deep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And so we get this is from the Chronicles of Namidus.
Yeah, there's something about twin flames coming into existence. Fumza, the freezing flame, Gesundheit. Father Gorm, even Fthagwa, the old devourer. See, I told you it was fucking evil.
Yeah. And you would think, okay, these are the ancient legends of Lemuria, and like Sumia is an educated princess and now empress. Well, queen and then also empress because they control the multiple empires now. But
Yes.
like, why does she not know who Fathaga the All Devourer is? Like this ancient evil Cthulhu monster being.
You know, it's like that the ranking of the animals. There's the most dangerous, there's the most deadly. It's probably the same for the gods as well. Maybe he's the most
Right.
unpronounceable, so
Fathaga
Fthagwa.
the unpronounceable.
Just below Father Gorm in terms of danger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's the most dangerous, but Father Gorm's the most deadliest.
Yes, there we go. So, you know, the deadly supersedes danger,
Right,
I
right.
guess. Uh, so Hanasan gets there and he starts to tell him about their cult, the cult that he uh, uh, is a part of, who's called
Oh shit.
the god is Yamath, Lord of
Yeah,
Flame.
yeah, which is the cult of the Yellow Druids from the terrible
Yep.
Thongor novels.
Yep, and he's like, "Motherfucker, I will end you." And Sumiya's like, "No, no, no. Trust him. I feel like we can trust him for some reason. Somehow I can see into his soul."
But yet she somehow can't realize that Fathaga is an evil deity.
Because she can't fucking read.
You know what? Maybe.
Or enunciate. I don't know. Maybe she pronounces it Fatagu, which sounds decidedly less dangerous.
You know what? Yeah, maybe they never spoke the name aloud. The petition was just given to her, like they didn't say anything, and she read it, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, that sounds nice."
What, flower? Yes, of course. Go on ahead, worship flower. So there's another note that I have here because so Thongor gives him the right of speech, I guess, and he says, "I shall try to make this as brief as possible. My co-religionists and I'm like, my note is fucking stop this, please. Fucking co-religionists."
And he says, "I'll try to make this as brief as possible." And we have one paragraph, two paragraphs. Yeah, two massive paragraphs detailing all of this information.
Name drops up the wazoo.
Yes, Vaspaspatol, Supreme Wizard Stardust,
The Namidus Chronicle,
All
not
Father
to be confused with the
Gorm.
Namidus ship.
Yes, Gondwain, the Yellow Druids.
Yeah.
The
tidal waves of flame that devoured the surface of pre-Earth.
The Dragon Kings.
It took whole kalpas for the magma surface to cool. We got another fucking term.
Yeah, but this doesn't give us a glossary in the end. How am I supposed to know?
Yes, what are kalpas?
Yamath and Afumza.
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coincidink is Stardust, who shows up in the everything that the cultist says, and also Thongor just having had the vision.
Yeah. He just did what Sherry did and just like FaceTimed him.
Yeah, pretty much. Just as opposed to Sherry being the light, this guy was the shadow. So
symbolism.
Symbolism. I forget what the fuck happens.
Okay, so anyway, so all of the human race, according to him, like was wiped out, but there was only one single survivor, the Supreme Wizard Stardust.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, then he reveals that, he had spoke to him last night, and old Hanos-Han is like, yeah, that's cool, whatever.
I wonder if Hanos-Han is into art at all and also sucks at it.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody should encourage them to keep pursuing that career.
Yes, please.
Don't start writing speeches or books.
Well, it's okay, as we find out later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this ancient book, there's somehow like a new interpretation of a verse. It's like whenever we find a new chapter of the freaking Epic of Gilgamesh before Winds of Winter comes out. But like it's happened like 3 times now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So anyway, they're like, okay, so there's a set of sarcophagi below us that are the key to our deliverance when Fthaga comes. And it's like, Thongor's like, wow, that's a hell of a mistranslation.
You got all that from redefining a word or two? And I somehow feel like this is applicable to the entirety of Thongor. I know there's a joke here to be made about mistranslations in Thongor, but I may be too tired to find it.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with this. It's yeah, but anyway, so they got to go down into this giant cave thing.
Yeah, and
it's
Thongor's like, that's fine. We can adapt the Earlium airboats to serve as floating platforms, so that the soldiers can clear away the obstructions, and then we can go down in one.
He's like, but be warned, Hanos-Han, this had better not be a fool's errand.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're right. The next thing, number 1, down into the past.
Now we're up to section 1, down into the past. So they take like 3 months to clear away the stuff.
Yeah.
We learn that Fthagwa's minions are curiously dubbed the Fire Vampires.
It's completely normal.
Thongor is very transparent in regards to his working in that giant shaft, like to his subjects.
Yeah.
It says that it might be tempting to hold back knowledge that could provoke unreasoning panic. But if a government was once caught lying to its people, they would never trust it again. Which, take a hint, humanity.
Yeah, that was a good little
I
on
love
the
this
nose
one.
reference.
Yes. Eventually they start going down the shaft with a tiny little Earlium boat.
Not the Nemesis.
Not the Nemesis. It was probably the aft section of it or something. It came off at the hinges. And naturally, Thongor is joined by Hanos-Han, which is the scribe, and his old friend, Old Thermostat. So,
and there's weird salamander-like transparent creatures that they have to fight because they live underground.
I'm fine with weirdly transparent salamander creatures. This is one of the most believable, well chosen enemies in Thongor history.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying but here's a problem this story has. And it's something that we're
one.
Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Here's a problem this story has that the other Thongor stories don't.
Ah, okay.
The combat's boring.
What combat?
Right. It's not written about.
No, it just
they get out their swords. Oh, they killed those things. Moving on.
Yeah.
The actual Thongor stories, they actually describe the combat, don't they?
Yeah, Lynn Carter leaned into it a bit.
That's what I thought. It was like all combat, no story.
Yeah, and it was.
This is all nothing.
It was all nothing. It's all nothing, no nothing. But yeah, the funny thing about this first combat with the salamanders is it's over pretty quick, and Thongor's covered in pale, reeking ichor, or ichor, as a border prince would call it. Before he knows what happens, both Al Thermostat and Hannes Hahn are gone.
Yep.
Right?
They're gone. They're gone.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I hope they weren't knocked over the side." And my reaction to that was, "Where the fuck do you think they went?" So
Yeah,
anyway,
where else did they go?
yeah. But he goes. These salamanders flooded out of a tunnel to the side, and he steps. So the boat was set to hover, I think, the
Yeah,
platform. So he
but it
steps.
started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So he steps off the platform into the tunnel, and then the boat starts rising.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no, maybe I messed up the controls." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 Thongor.
You mess up the controls? You are a natural at this?
Yeah, you learned how to fly the Nemidus within 2 seconds of hopping on board. You did not mess up the controls."
Yep. I also like how he groaned inwardly to see the airboat rising rapidly up the shaft.
Stephen King raging.
Fucking hell. So had he made an error with the controls, or had there been some design flaw? And my note is, Lynn Carter's ghost pops in to give him a physics lesson. How if you set it to hover with 300 pounds of man meat on it and then take the man meat off, it will probably go the fuck up, right? Like,
Yes, that
this
is what Lynn Carter
this
would
would have
have
been
done in this
this would have been a
situation.
nice moment for Lynn Carter to go, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah,
Anyway.
he would have flexed his supreme knowledge over his dumb readers.
Obviously. I mean, we're dumber for reading this, but
No, yeah, we should have saw as soon as we saw the word Thongor in the story, we should have been like, absolutely not.
listen, the first 4 stories were fine. It's a great fucking series. Let's not ruin the experience. But yeah, we got something against Thongor in
Oh
all
yeah.
his incarnations, in case you haven't noticed. Um, so he goes down this tunnel, and thankfully there were no branching tunnels sprouting from this one, because this is the most boring dungeon design ever.
Yeah. And then we're
And
into what?
a gelatinous cube.
Indeed.
He walks into a gelatinous cube. Unexpected, I guess.
Yeah.
It was an interesting thing to find in the Thongor novel.
Yeah. And then we go into chapter 1 among all enemies.
I can see a pattern emerging. So I did not understand a fuck of what was going on in this whole section. So if you want to run me through it.
Okay, so
Before we get to chapter 1, when coffins creak open, which is the next one.
Yes. He wakes up from the translucent gelatinous cube here, and he gets the author puts in a very nice case of the not gays, which is, if you don't know, that's where a character has to like explain that they're not gay, because he's like, oh man, I hope that gelatinous cube was a female.
No,
like,
not the cube. He absently noted that fucking mercifully, someone had washed the slimy residue from his body. He only hoped it had been a female.
Oh, you're right.
So
I misread that.
Yeah, so he hoped that the person that washed the residue off his body had been a female.
Yeah, because he had the case of the not gays, and
He definitely had a big case of the not gays between his legs.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's so many layers of worse somehow than the original Thongors.
Yeah,
I feel, at least.
I don't understand how.
And I want to just setting the record clean. Like, we love SRM, we love Sword and Sorcery. We love that stuff's being written for this genre, and we love what we're doing and reading it. We also got this PDF as a review copy and from Richard, and we thank him for it. But I just can't, man. Whenever I see Thongor, I just go into full shitlord mode.
Oh, I know.
And I think it's warranted. Like honestly, I personally cannot fucking understand the fandom of this IP.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, the guy who
beyond
wrote like
beyond me.
Kathakon, like I don't know this for sure, but I would bet money that he doesn't like Thongor.
I don't know. I'll ask him. We'll see.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
See if he listens to this and makes it this far, because I think we're fucking 2 hours in, maybe more at this point. But
yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah. So
anyway, he
so
he
in case you didn't know, Thongor is definitely not gay.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely not gay. Not gay.
Yes.
Kids are not gays.
No.
He wakes up to freaking the Yamath cultists ranting at him. He's like, I am Yang Severus, heir to the martyr Vaspus Patol. I'm like, oh my god. No one cares.
These fuckers want you to know their name before they die.
Yeah. We hasten the advent of the great Fathagu, whose flame shall purify the earth. And I'm like, oh, they're Cthulhu cultists.
Yes. But they're yellow.
They're right, yeah. They're yellow Cthulhu cultists.
I wonder if their king was also in yellow.
Ooh.
See, I know my shit.
Indeed.
Yes.
These are not to be confused with the red cultists of not Yamath, or the purple cultists.
The purple Teletubbies. Not to be confused with the red or the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Confusingly serving the same ultimate purpose.
Yeah. But anyway, so it says, meanwhile, the Archdruid had not tired of his shrill ranting. And I'm like, okay, at least this is self-aware.
And my note here says Archdruid, forever known as Karen from now on. It's Karen of the Yamath Druids.
Yes.
Heir to Vaspas Toll.
Yes. And so it talks about how there's like the blazing altar of Yamath, a mammoth monster stood close to its intended victim. By sorcery, Jesus.
What?
Telepathy. Was there even a difference? And I feel like this would be a point where we wouldn't be questioning whether there was a difference or not. If Lynn Carter had written this, he would have told us in excruciating detail.
We would have had a paragraph and a half of this shit. Yes.
But yeah, so anyway, there's this creature that's like coming towards them, and Thongor recognizes his trusty blade, and all old Thermostat had showed up.
He sees his blade sticking through one of the cultists.
Yeah. And then he throws it end over end, and Thongor grasps it out of the air because he's Thongor.
But this is not the shit bit. So Althermus skewers this guy, pops up from behind the skewered old vulture, and then tosses the sword to Thongor, who grasps it and then runs over to greet his comrade. Can you imagine if this was mistimed? Like if Thermos had thrown the sword and Thongor had already started towards him, and then the sword flies by him, and he's like, "Wait, what the? Why did you throw that? I was coming to. Where did you think I was gonna go?"
Yeah, it would be the perfect comedic bit.
That was a very comical moment to me, as were many of the bits in this story.
Well, Thongor.
And then there's a cringy line. Which
this flock of chickens poses no danger to a couple of old wolves like us,
says Thermostat. Yeah.
Which I think somewhere in here I put in my notes. Yeah. Again, cringe dialogue.
Yes. We find out that Hanos Han has died off screen.
Yeah. So
Uh,
lame.
so lame. We also know that with his dying words, he told Thermos to Thermos.
Yeah, Termus.
Termus. See, I call him Thermos because thermostat.
Yeah.
He told Termus to give his love to his sister, who is Sumia. Haha!
Yeah. Bum bum bum. But
Surprise.
like her cousin's name is like Kantos Khan or something, isn't it? Or is that
There's
Prince
Prince.
Drew?
He comes up soon
I don't know.
thereafter.
It's whatever.
Yeah. So
Now we're into
chapter 1.
chapter 1.
When coffins creak open. Finally, we're on to chapter 1. So they find some coffins, and the druids are chanting, waving their hands, doing some Hebe
Cthulhu
Mumbo,
ritual.
Cthulhu
Yeah.
ritual. They have some braziers that are smoking, and Thongor smells the sniffs at the air, and he says they're burning tunnel leaves, and he says this can't be good. And my note is in a parallel universe, Caiaphas Cain stirs.
God, I love the Caiaphas Cain novels.
He's like,
They're
wait,
so much better than Thongor.
where the fuck did that come from? Yeah.
Oh.
So the sarcophagi open, sarcophagize.
And then the mummies arrive.
Be these the living mummies that title the tale.
Spry skeletons in a choreographed dance routine.
Yeah,
That's
that's my note reads Michael Jackson Thriller.
I got the spooky scary skeletons thing.
I'm
video?
not sure. I'm not sure.
Oh God.
I'll look it up
Yeah.
and link it.
Yeah, please do. That's what
Okay.
popped in my mind.
Fair enough.
I'll send it to you. But
Yeah. So the mummies turn on the druids, and Thongor and Termus are perfectly placed to chop them down as they flee.
Yeah.
And there's another line, which is the Valkarthan felt almost ashamed at such a one-sided victory. It was pretty much like shooting coelacanths in a barrel. I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, it's Thongor.
It's just there. Let's see how we can twist the saying of shooting fish in a barrel. Make it fit. Oh, I know. Use this archaic term for a fossilized fish, and still have them shoot it in a barrel.
Fish in a barrel.
Fucking anyway.
And then we got a classic. They were too ugly to live. Like, oh, okay, so we're doing these.
Yeah, but there were still the mummies to deal with.
Indeed, there was.
Yeah, so they're 2-on-7, but suddenly their odds improved, and it is Sumia, and beside her stands Prince Drew. And
but
then
she's wearing silver mail armor with a sword in her fist. I'm like, she's never fought anyone in her life besides a fist fight.
It's probably just for show.
Yeah, you're right.
It's one of those parade armors, you know.
Yeah. It's like the armor on the that Lord of the Rings show Amazon made that's like made out of plastic.
It's fucking lycra.
Yeah.
It's just painted lycra.
Yeah.
You know, also she's got a cleavage and bikini chainmail like she's gotta. It's
Oh yeah, I definitely imagined this as like Red Sonja chainmail armor.
Yeah, it's obligatory Sarkosia fare.
But he does refer to it just as mail, not chainmail, which yay.
Yeah. Silver mail armor. Hey, one for the positives. Okay. They start chopping shit up, and Thongor is very pleased that
they do the things. They question why the Yellow Priest revived these frisky cadavers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what are you talking about?
I mean, he's already lubed up as Thongor, so
That's right.
There
And
you
then
go.
it turns out that dun dun dun, these were the last of the fallen Dragon Kings. But
Yes.
we already saw the last of the fallen Dragon Kings in
These are
that
the
one.
last. Those were the next to last of the Dragon Kings. These are the
So
actual last.
for real this time.
Trademark registered. Then there's a whole diatribe on just what the fuck's happening. So the idea was that they're being woken up so that they stop the advent of Thetha Agua,
Yeah.
but now they're dead, so how are we gonna do it? And then there's Eodrim the Wise, who's one of the I don't fucking know, the three
scribe
wise
dude.
men, yeah,
Yeah.
who figures
He's the
out
court
that
wizard, basically.
yeah, he's a Sherry 2.0, who figures out that or knows that the wrappings of the mummies hold the incantations needed to prevent your boy Agua's coming or something of the sort.
Yeah.
Am I near the mark?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's writing on the inside of the wrappings.
Yeah.
Oh, we also
So
have Drew, whenever he says that it's gibberish and stuff, it says quoth Drew, and I was like, ugh.
yeah. Well, Prince Drew always a bit impatient as well as impulsive. This is more characterization than he's had in all of the instances that we've seen
That's true.
or read him.
That's
Always a
true.
bit impatient as well as impulsive. We just knew he was young and handsome, I guess.
So now we have not only adjectives describing his appearance, we also have them describing his temperament, which
Yes.
that is a step up from Lynn Carter.
Tis.
I still don't know what the hell Patanga looks like, though.
It's fine. You can take the description, the great description of the previous story, and use that as the way Patanga looks.
Sure.
Just
Why not?
prior to it being its walls being slightly crumbled.
It is completely not crumbled.
Yes, entirely. So yeah, and then we get this final paragraph with them leaving the place, and we're supposed to feel something over Sumia learning that her long lost brother from another mother has died.
Yeah, and she's not even sad, really.
Well, we don't get to see it, I guess. It just
I mean, she frowns and shakes her head, and it's like, he really truly saved all of us, didn't he? And he's like, yes, but that's not all, Sumia, my love. There's something else I must tell you about him.
Dun,
Dot,
dun, dun.
dot. And I'm like, I
It's
don't
actually-
want to fucking know. I don't want to know.
It's actually ...
Oh, I missed one.
Yes. For some reason, there's an extra dot among those dots. I wonder which one it is.
Well, whatever they were, the dots were not dotting for this story.
Yes. And I like I like in the meet the God, we're probably gonna get so much shit for this, and I'm gonna have to make this its own fucking part of the review.
Should we split the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Be
split this
the
into its
Savage
own
Realms
thing.
monthly review, and then be like, refer to part 2 for specifically the Thongor review.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
That's funny.
Because we've gone like long, and it's completely. I know it borders on disrespect.
It does, yeah.
But you know, you gotta understand where we're coming from. We really tried giving Thongor a whirl. We read the first 3 books. I downloaded all of them.
Whew,
So yeah, I have actually made room for much better stuff. But I like how in the meet the author section, Robert M. Price says about sword and sorcery that so it can be a vehicle for ideas. It's a hard-boiled narrative, plunging headlong action, etc., etc. And he says that Lynn Carter took issue with snooty critics who dissed sword and sorcery as a moribund genre in need of revitalization, and Lynn rightly repudiated such sophistry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I have a note here that says, if it's broke, don't break it even further.
Yeah.
If it's broke, just let it lie.
Yeah, I think Robert M. Price here is trying to fix the brokenness of Thongor. However, stop. Just stop. He is probably a great guy, and I'm sure he probably has better endeavors that he's written. Stop writing Thongor. They've always been bad. You can't fix them.
Well, unfortunately, he says, I love writing Thongor.
I know.
He says that he tries to maintain Lynn's association of the character with Madame Blavatsky's theosophical lore and with Hindu mythology. Do we get any of that reading Thongor?
I never got. Well, I mean,
Any.
unless Hindu mythology is just so vaguely referenced, as in they have an entire pantheon of gods, but that's honestly insulting to the numerous other religions that have a pantheon of gods.
They should have mentioned the number of arms on one of those gods and whether or not one looks like an elephant.
I do agree with one thing that he says here,
do
though.
it right.
Hey, he does here say that he says that he hopes the renewed popularity of sword and sorcery is a reaction against today's politically correct crusade against masculine virtue, and people should read Howard and Burroughs and Doc Savage, and I actually love the way he puts this. This is why parents should feed their young sons a steady diet of Howard, Burroughs, and Doc Savage. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I would add that their daughters would also benefit from reading those, without a doubt.
Yeah, because they're good stories that aren't politically correct. They're just good.
It's just good pulp for it's a good story for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
Much. So.
And we're allowed to have heroes that are not virtuous.
Yeah. Not and villains who are actually villains, but please just enough of the fucking druids and the dragon kings.
I don't want to know more about Thongor and his world, but I do think that I would be interested in reading this guy's Spawn of Cthulhu and Mysteries of the Worm.
They're mentioned here.
Yeah, that sounds cool because he knows how to write Cthulhu rituals and make up weird Cthulhu god names and stuff. So, I feel like that could be good. And since he's not really writing any sort of combat in here, I feel like a Cthulhu mythos story. Yeah, perfect for that.
Yeah, I getcha. Yeah. He also does theological and biblical works, and you can find those on Amazon.
Yeah, I thought that was a very different track from he writes Thongor and stuff about the Bible. Yeah,
I mean, there's the good book and the not so good book.
You're right.
Oh God.
And like we said, we mean no disrespect to Mr. Price, or anyone in this issue.
Yeah, no, it's all in good fun. It's just our personal meme take on the whole thing, but it's become easy for us to pick on Thongor, and even some of the qualms that we might have might not even be that, what would you say, grievous, I guess, for other people. But it's just we knee jerk into it so hard at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's fun to me. It's something.
It's fun to hate on it.
Yeah, totally.
So even though I'm saying don't write more Thongor stories, if you continue to write more Thongor stories and they happen to be in an anthology that we read or a magazine like this,
we will fucking read them and
we'll
talk
read
shit about them. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So you're still getting publicity.
And we did say, like, we did open, and we do open the podcast with, we were here to read books and talk shit. And I think
Yeah.
we're doing that. We're rising to the challenge that we set for ourselves.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah.
I always have a good time with the Thongor stuff, even though like the whole time I'm like miserable, but like,
Because you think about this afterwards,
yeah,
and you take the notes, and you know that the other person's notes will also be in the same funny vein.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did have one question though.
Hmm.
So, if we have Hanos Han being the brother of Sumia,
Mhm.
does that mean Sumia's last name is Han? Or do last names not exist?
Well, Thongor, Sumia, and Prince Drew don't have last names.
No.
Sherry
Kantos
certainly didn't
Han,
have. Yeah.
Ald Termus does.
Yep.
Hanos Han now does.
Karm Karvas does.
Karm Karvis. So,
Vaspas Ptol. So there are last names.
right.
It's just, I don't know, maybe the title supersedes the last name for Sumia. She's just the princess of Patanga.
The Empress now.
Empress now, yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
Ann Price, we need to know.
If
Or maybe it's in a freaking glossary in the back of one of those other Thongor books we're not reading.
Yes, it might be. I don't know. Next to another lesson in physics.
Yeah, and a list of references of real world books about real world topics
Mm-hmm.
in a fantasy book.
Oh boy. Shall we call it?
Yeah, I think so. We've been on here for forever.
Good God. That's about all the nonsense we have time for today. We hope to have you here next time if you don't fucking hate us. If you want to follow the page and keep up with the podcast or the rest of the content we post every week, you'll find all relevant links in the description below. Thanks for tuning in, and have as nice a day as you deserve.
Yep. Read this. It's good.
Stop writing.